If you're watching this video, to see the previous example, look at the end of the video. I will re-record the first example, example 4, at the end of this video. Okay, example 5, use synthetic division to divide this. First of all, let's check, can we use synthetic division? Because we are dividing by plain x plus 3, yes, we can use synthetic division. Remember, synthetic division uses the coefficients. The coefficient of x to the 4th is 1. But if we're starting with x to the 4th, what term should come next? X to the 4th, then x to the 3rd. Do we see an x to the 3rd term? No. So the coefficient for that term is 0. You have to put a 0 for any missing terms. So you might want to make yourself a note that there's a missing term there. Then we've got the negative 10x squared, negative 2x plus 4. If you need to, you could make yourself a note that this is the x to the 4th term, this is the x to the 3rd term, the x squared term, the x, and the constant number. So that's the coefficient. The blue is the coefficient of the x shown in green. What number do we write outside of the synthetic division? Negative 3. If we're dividing by x plus 3, we use the opposite, negative 3, in our synthetic division. Drop the first term straight down. And now this is a series of multiplication and then addition, multiplication and addition until you're done. So you always multiply the number on the outside, negative 3, times the numbers at the bottom. So negative 3 times 1, negative 3. Then we add those two numbers together. 0 plus negative 3 is negative 3. Multiply again. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1. Multiply. Negative 3 times negative 1. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 4 plus negative 3 is 1. The last term is always your remainder. When you put these 4 things, these are the 4 coefficients. Think about, we started with x to the 4th, we divided by x, so what is that 1 going to be the coefficient of? 1x to the 3rd. Do you need to write the 1 in front? No, you can ignore that 1. Minus 3x squared minus 1x plus 1. The remainder we put over the original x plus 3. And there's our answer using synthetic division. Okay, this one's written a little bit differently, but same thing. Check first to see if you have any missing terms. Figure out what goes outside the synthetic division. Give this one a try on your own. If you're watching the video, pause the video. Try it on your own. I mean it. Pause the video. Pause it. I don't think you're listening. You need to pause. 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 Okay, I'm done. Drop the 4. Multiply. Add. Whoa. Multiply, we get 0. Add. Multiply. Add. So our remainder in this one is 0. We started with x to the 3rd, so our answer is going to be 4x squared plus 0x minus 9. Okay, the answer I just wrote is basically if that wasn't a 0 and if there was a remainder. You'd need all of these pieces if those zeros weren't there, if those zeros were actual numbers. But do we really need to write 0x? No. Do we really need to write plus 0 over x plus 2? No. So your final answer would be 4x squared minus 9. If you want to see example 4, keep watching. Here's the assignment for 5.4 day 2. Again, if you want to see example 4, keep watching. It's coming in about 10 seconds.
2.
Okay, so last night, or when I talked to my mom about seeing her trip, you can take one of them into like a different country.
So one of the unique things about synthetic division is that it only works for something like this when you're dividing by x minus 5. If we were trying to divide by something like x squared plus 2x minus 3, then we could not use synthetic division. Synthetic division uses the coefficients of each term. So 3 is our coefficient, negative 17, 15, and negative 25. If you start with x to the third, think about whether or not you're missing any terms. So x to the third, x squared, x, and then a number. We are not missing any terms. So we use 3, negative 17, 15, and negative 25. This number is the opposite of whatever you see in the number that you are dividing by. So if we're dividing by x minus 5, we are going to use positive 5. You multiply the 5 times the numbers that you see on the bottom. We don't have a number at the bottom to begin, so we drop this 3 down. 5 times 3 is 15. Then we add negative 17 plus 15 is negative 2. Now start the second cycle. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And then add, that would give us 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And then add, we get 0. Whatever number is in this last place, excuse me, that is the remainder. So in this case, we do not have a remainder. 3 and negative 2 and positive 5 are the coefficients. You look at what we started with, x to the third. We divided by an x. So this first coefficient is x squared, and then negative 2x, and then plus 5. If we had a remainder, we would put that remainder over x minus 5. But because we don't have a remainder, we don't have to write that. And this would be our answer.